There we go.
We'll start in a bit. I've got a short presentation, and then I'll show you what we've been working on. I guess let's just get started. So hello, everyone. I'm going to be walking you through what we've been doing for the past month or so, our fund aid proposal, and what we're going to be doing in the next few months, and all about that. So at the Littlefish Foundation, we're all about one thing, and that is the little fish. The little fish is the individual. It is the smallest minority. It is all of us. And we have skills, we have abilities that we can contribute to with. We have skills and abilities that we can contribute with. But today in the world, the little fish, the individual, don't live the best of lives. They live 9 to 5. They go to their jobs, and they really aren't able to actualize themselves because they lack the control in their workplace. They're working for money, but they're not really doing the things that really makes them who they are. They're not doing the things that they truly desire. And what we want to do is build a system that enables that. It allows people, each little fish, to actually do the things that they love doing and actually make money out of it. And this saying by Rumi, as he is known in the broader world, and Mevlana, as we call him in Turkish, really exemplifies the type of person that we were building this thing for. It says, yesterday I was clever. I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise. I want to change myself. This is the type of person we want to enable so that that person can actually actualize themselves, to try and become the best version of themselves and actually make money out of it. So that is what we're trying to build. But the thing is, we're human, we're social animals, we're not alone. So that's why in our system, we also have colonies. Colonies are pretty much any group of little fish. They can be an idea, they can be a cause, they can be a project, they can be a business, they can be anything that is actually a representation of a group of little fish coming together to do something. Actually, this is the first colony, Littlefish Foundation. We are building the system. So we are a project. We are building the system for us to enable ourselves to actually build the system. So it is kind of a way of validating the system by building it, by using it. And what we want, just like with little fish, we want to enable the little fish to become the best version of themselves. We also want to enable the colonies to become the best version of themselves. And this is exemplified in this quote. It says, find a group of people who challenge and inspire you, spend a lot of time with them, and it will change your life forever. And that is what we want to enable for pretty much anyone to find on a platform. That is one of the main goals. And that is actually what has happened with me and Jim. We've been working together for the past 3 years, a little more than 3 years. We make a great team because he's the dreamer. He looks into the future, he sees something amazing, he brings it back, talks to me about it, and then I'm the a-hole that says, no, we can't do that, because I'm more of a realist and I take things more practically, and I usually shut it down and say, no, we can't do that, but this is maybe how we can do it. So that's why we make a great team, because together we can actually build something that is actually doable, that we can imagine, that we can talk about, that is actually doable. And what we believe is we have a method of doing this right now. We got it all. Thank you, Rob. So we have a project that we think is very, very doable in 3 to 4 months. It's not that difficult technically. Like we've got it covered. We don't even need to do smart contracts. We're going to use NFTs. That's it. It's very doable. We're going to be able to do it in a few months. But the thing is, the project is not just a website, and it's not a very small thing to do. And the thing is, MVP is just the first bit. What we really need is like a broader team. We need people to contribute, and what we need is kind of you. We need a lot of skills, different skills that we don't have. We have a dreamer and we have a realist, but that's all we have. We don't have much else. So we need community builders, we need designers, we need writers, researchers, developers, marketers. So we need anything that's a decentralized community building a project needs. We need a lot of skills, but so well, really, what does that mean in this system? What does that mean today? What we need today? And that is when we ask, what can I do to help build this thing, build Littlefish Foundation? It's all about action. So if you've read the proposal or maybe come to our previous meetings, you know about this. The system is consisting of 3 things: the Littlefish, the colonies, and action. So the Littlefish come together to form colonies, and they produce action. Action is anything that can be done in the real world. But let's take some real concrete examples for Littlefish today. So if you're a designer, for example, you can design little fishes to be used in badges, in NFTs, in stories. You can, if you like researching, you can research some statistics that we can use in the white paper and in other parts. You can write stories of Littlefish, because this is all going to be a gamified experience. We're going to be telling stories pretty much all over this place. And we need some people that are actually capable of writing stories. If you've seen the Miroboard, we're not that capable of that. So we need people to write those stories. So we need people to think of colonies that can be founded, so we can put those as examples once we have the system ready. So they get people thinking this way, because this is a brand new type of coordination. Like, it doesn't exist. We're having a difficult time actually imagining it. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around. So we need a lot of things. We need even people to make memes, because memes communicate ideas much better than me talking. So what we got right now is a loose structure. We don't really have a main task list that we're gonna go and do these things. Sorry. We have a lot of tasks written in the Miroboard, which I'm going to show you in a bit. But at any time, if you've done something that you think contributes to this project, what I'd like you to do is just share it on Discord and contribute. And what we're going to do, if we get the Fundate funding, which I think we'll be getting, is actually distributing those funds to the actions that help build this platform. So we're going to be using the system that we're building to validate the system and to actually pay out to all the contributors who help us build the system. And that is the key to everything we're doing. It's about action. And the saying that I'm hoping is actually from Pablo Picasso is really outlining that. So action is the foundational key to all success. And that is the foundational key to our success as well. So thank you for listening to this. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer. If not, I'm going to be showing you around to actually what we've been doing for the past month or so. All right, then I'll go to.
No, first of all, I love the graphics and the story. It's amazing. And also the mirrors. So thanks for sharing all of that. And thanks for all your hard work up to now.
Absolutely. Great presentation. I'm stoked to see what you guys are all doing.
Thank you, David.
It's short and clear.
Thank you for the presentation.
Of course. All right, so what I've done is put everything that we've done under Littlefish Foundation under one board. So it is a little story that starts with the little fish. It's all about the little fish. So what you can find on this board, if you come here and if you have a keen eye, you will see things like this. This is a call to action. So this is something that needs to happen. If you're a designer, you come in, you see something like this. This kind of looks okay, but it's not really that good. What we need is someone to design this better, to write a little better. There's lots of these all around. You see these blue call to actions. These are all things that can be done that we need someone to help do. And there are many different things that can be done here. So there are things like just telling the story. This is maybe looking at this one. So this is some of our earliest work. Those of you who have been joining since 3-4 months ago, remember this from the previous board. What we need is someone to come in and tell the story of this, and also the story of what we've been doing in Q1 2022 when we weren't building this, but we were just discussing what we can do. So there are many different things that can be done here, but the main part of this is this bit. So this bit is really where the action is going. And I'll leave it up to you if you want to go in and check it out. We talked about this specific bit last week as well. But what I want to show to you today is this bit, because as I said, actions are the crux of it. They're the most important part. So these are what has been done to actually make this happen. And these are the records of the work that has been done. So let's go over what we've already done. And I've added most of the things I think we've done in the past 3 to 4 months. But if you feel anything is missing from here that you would like to show here, please feel free to add it or put it on contribute so we can add it for you. So this is the first proposal we had. This is the flowchart Gem built early on. It has many of the ideas that we were actually going to be implementing. This is the first donation cycle that we worked on and then didn't continue it because it was very difficult to actually hold and do properly. These are the platform design toolkit that Gem has filled out. And these are all the different types of work. And of course, we held all these meetings. So that is work as well. That is recorded. So what we're going to be doing is, once we build this, we're going to be turning these into NFTs of actually records of work that has been done and actually paying out to the contributors who did these, this. And we're going to be doing that as we're building as well. So this is the past. And right now, today, this is what has been going on. And as we go on, we'll be adding more and more and more and more of these. And we hope this actually goes into a mechanical system that we can actually use in a few months, maybe 2 or 3 months, rather than just keeping a record here. But it is, what this is just the manual version of what we're building. So this is just experimentally actually building what we want to build. So that's kind of it for me as a broad summary of what has been going on. If you're interested, please come and check this board out. There's a lot to do, lots of blue little dots that you can be interested in, lots to do. So thank you for listening. And this is all in the chat, by the way. There we go.
Cagkan, thank you for that again. I see there's some people. Do you want some new people as well, or at least that I didn't see before that are here, or that were not involved in some discussions? Can you share what's the status of what you are building now? What specifically you are building, and you already built the wallet and the NFTs for action. Can you share where you are in building that? What's the status of that?
Sure. Maybe Jem could share because Jem is the one who's building it, and I'm trying to work around all the organizational bits. So maybe
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
because you're progressing quite good for your initial product already, right?
yes.
yeah.
it seems
Right now we are working on WordPress extension for Littlefish, so it can be easily distributed all over the world, and all the colonies can use their own WordPress systems for using Littlefish. And for merging the colonies and checking other colonies, they will need Littlefish website. For the Littlefish website, we are checking the technologies that we can use. And we are right now pointing WebAssembly with Cardano serialization library, and we are making the tests over that one. So why do we need that? I can say it because we want it to be fully decentralized, the main system. And also we will be using that one for Cardano After Dark, another funded project. So we are working on the infrastructure part. And I think we will be able to show something in a month, and we will be able to talk to IOG for development of the NFT marketplace and the tokenomics. So this is our roadmap right now.
So building the colonies infrastructure, right? How
Yes,
everyone can
yes.
create a colony, and then how you actually creating from each action an NFT.
In fact, no. For the first part, there will be only one colony, that is Littlefish. And
Okay.
Cagkan, can you show the Fibonacci graph for everyone?
Sure.
We have a plan for setting up the colonies, and this is right here.
Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with one colony. That'll be us, and then we're going to add one more, and then talk to them, like see what's going on, and then we'll add two more. Then we'll add 3 more, 5 more, 8 more, according to the Fibonacci series, because we love Fibonacci pretty much.
Yes.
And what we're going to do is we're going to apply for Fund 9 and then Fund 10. And what we're hoping is, like, if we actually build this, deliver on our promise for Fund 8, we can apply for a very large fund, because there's pretty much, we've been doing this for like Fund 7, Fund 8, Fund 9. If we go strong, I think we can easily get 200K for Fund 9. And that will enable us to actually bring on really solid projects, rather than just very, we can just bring even professional services as colonies. So we can do a lot with this. And it will actually allow us to build the system slowly, but build it well, build it the correct way.
Yeah. May I ask something? Very
Sure.
good idea, by the way. It is circular, and we have been discussing all the time about this, how we should extend our community. It's very good idea to use Fibonacci. And what would be the requirement for being the, for example, one of the colony? I mean, imagine, do we have any specific requirement to join as a colony?
I think we'll see
No.
that in time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
For example, an NGO or an informal group, when they come to us, what we should ask to them? Can they just be part of it and use the Littlefish Foundation structure, or do we set some requirements?
So what would need to happen is, one of the things that we need to figure out, one of the things that as an organization, Littlefish Foundation, we need to realize is how we're going to do that. Like, do we want to reach out to NGOs?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a process to do that? Like, we need some people to actually handle that. Like that is one of the things that we need to do.
Yeah. That's why I asked for the requirements, and probably they should fulfill some responsibilities as well to be part of it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
what those responsibilities should be, what those requirements should be, we need to come together, and someone needs to take care of that, arrange that, so that we can make that happen. And I think Yoram's experience here will definitely apply. We have a lot of experience in that field to actually figure that out as well.
So what are the benefits to being a member of a colony? Well, so say if the Blockchain Learning Center were to join Littlefish, how would, so I think of numbers that we might be able to help each other off the top of my head,
Mhm.
but like what are the express kind of benefits of being part of that collaboration?
Right. So the system we're building is entirely built around the idea of reward sharing. So what's going on in a colony is people are producing actions, they're doing something, and they're generating NFTs, and they're selling these NFTs. And these NFT sales, the rewards don't go to this one person, they go to pretty much the entire colony based on whatever the setting of that colony is. So you could set up a colony entirely based on your preferences. That would mean, let's say, all NFT sales would return 5% to the colony, and the rest would go to the original producer of that NFT. You could do that. You could also do pretty much any other combination that you like. And that would mean everyone is gaining from all the actions produced in.
Similar to what we're trying to do with our like working poor campaign, where we're like getting the stories from people and then like trying to sell those NFTs and then give half the money back to the workers that lended their stories.
It's pretty much, and that we're just trying to like put that into code, very easy. Like you can't break that. We actually call that a digital contract. Like this is a
Right.
new type of digital contract that you go into when you join and become a member of a colony. You take that digital contract and you say, okay, this is it. Like I'm going to gain money by this method.
Maybe we should
So-
be collaborating with you guys on that NFT campaign and just make that a Littlefish thing,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
then it could help the Blockchain Learning Center and the Bean Chains, so we can help like make more worker-directed companies, and it would help the workers, and it would serve to bolster your community and be a good case study.
Yes, absolutely. We should talk about that.
Yeah, I have a case also I would like to share. For example, there is a group of students in my university. I'm consulting them. I mean, they ask me to be part of their team. They are good at developing games, and they have skills in developing games in Unity and using Blender for the 3D designs. And they came up with a business idea to create a NFT based game based on Ethereum. So they have a long way to go. And I told them the challenges of working in Ethereum, but they have another issues, for example, how they can come and develop in Cardano. They don't know working in the Cardano system. So maybe if they join as a Littlefish group, and they can get a kind of support from Littlefish, right? Because we already know how to create NFTs here, and we could guide them, right? Can it be a case for supporting a group of students who would like to develop their games, for example?
So they could start their own colony, and they could start this colony around any idea that they want. So if this is like teach kids Cardano blockchain colony, and people could produce actions that actually help make that happen. So what would happen is they could start that colony, and David could come in, produce an NFT of some of the videos that he'll be producing on his blockchain learning center, and they could just use those as well. But it is a kind of an interesting case. It's not one of the first things that comes to my mind, but it is definitely doable. Yeah.
It's definitely something that I'd like to try to coordinate and help with for sure. Want to get courses on like how people can interact with NFTs in the space. I also think that maybe it sounds like since there's a somewhat of a process for getting involved with Littlefish, maybe if we work together to make a course on the Blockchain Learning Center about how to get involved with Littlefish, that people could just point people to, it might help people understand how to interact with your space.
I think in due time, I think that would be amazing. But right now,
Yeah.
the process is changing like pretty much every day.
Makes sense.
This is an iterative system that we're playing with pretty much all the time. Like every single day, we're working on this, changing it, trying to make it simpler. Next, we're going to be trying to make it very easy to actually see what needs to happen, so someone can go and okay, see, I can do this and get that done. So that's coming next. Probably on the next community meeting, we'll be talking about that.
Right, so we're still trying to kind of define the processes and the interactions. It's a bit of a moving target right now, but once we get it more solidified,
absolutely,
that makes sense.
Because it's difficult to like actually do something in a decentralized fashion where you don't have a classical company and a boss that telling you you need to do this, because everyone is contributing freely. Like you can't hold someone accountable. Like that's not in the question. So
creating something new takes a lot of experimentation.
Yeah, exactly. And that is exactly what this is. This is like an experiment to try to do that.
I'm very interested in the outcome of it too, because that's the other part of what we're doing is like trying to figure out these new ways that we can work together and be like worker directed companies and co-ops and things like that. This all plays into that. So
yeah, this is
really
like
cool.
Trying to do that on a scale. Like if we can do this with one colony, like we can do it with any number of colonies, and then pretty much anyone can do it. Like that is what we're trying to do. Patrick, you have a question?
Hi. Thank you. It's very interesting. If I understand correctly, I try to summarize. You do actions, for instance, on the blue notes. The action generates NFTs. The NFTs are sold and the reward distributed according to colony rules.
Yep.
Yes.
Now, I have a three-part question: is who's choosing the actions, and if they are well defined? Think about Scrum stories, which have a definition of what you have to do.
Shall I answer this, John?
Yeah, sure.
Basically, the system is for non-technical people. You could be technical, you don't have to be. But whatever your vision is on whatever you want to do, whatever your action is, I mean, it might be developing NFTs or giving kids to develop NFTs, or I don't know, to clean a beach or produce cat houses, or end starvation in your community, or I don't know, give rental help to certain people in your community. Whatever your values are, you define an action. This has something to do with you and your personal ideas of what you want to do around you, what your environment needs, what your capabilities are. So then that's your action, okay? And you do something, you simply do something, and you prove it via an NFT. This can be an art piece, this can be a photo, this can be a of whatever it is you're doing, or it can be, I don't know, some people can join you and they can take videos of the whole thing, or they can make, you know, art pieces about it. And in the end, this is proof. And once you have the proof, I mean, people support you with that. That the proof is the NFT, and people start buying it, not just as an art piece on an auction, but more like a memorabilia of that moment, like they, as a souvenir of that moment, they buy it. You know, this is, as far as I understand, Jam, and correct me if I'm wrong here, this NFT does not have to belong to one single person. It can, many people can give support to it and create funding to it. You know what I mean? And that way, there's a snowball effect of the finances.
Ideally, that is the case. Like the initial
Yeah.
version will only have a basic NFT that one person can buy, but ideally, in the future, we should be able to implement an NFT that many people can buy. And we should maybe probably do that optionally as well. So the producer of that action will be able to select if there's only one of those NFTs or many. It could be a bonding curve. There's many different options that are available. And thank you for that, Bilge. And to add to that, the producer of the action decides entirely. There is no one calling the shots saying, do this. At least at this stage, there isn't. This is an entirely free system. And the thing is, you produce an action, you put it out there, and someone comes and buys it if they feel it is valuable, if they feel it is something that they want to support. And that is the idea. So for Littlefish, it would be we would come and see, Jem and I would come and see if this is actually helping us, and if it is, we'll probably buy it. And if it's not, it wouldn't be bought. This is how it would work initially. But in the future, what it would be like with a colony that, for example, let's say, cleans beaches. This is always the example that I go to, and it is getting boring. I'm going to get new examples. Please, someone write a new example for a colony so I can use. So let's say a colony that cares about clean environments. They say, okay, let's clean the beaches. They wouldn't need to say that. You could just go and clean a beach, produce an action, like just take a photo, take your drone, maybe make a cool video of it, produce an action NFT out of it, and put it on sale. And someone will come and say, okay, these guys are awesome. They're cleaning the beaches. I'm going to support this. And that is the idea behind an action. So it is completely free from direction. It only requires one person to do something. It doesn't need anything else.
My question was actually split in three, and then I asked only the first of the three because you remember. Sorry, I'm complicated.
It's okay.
And the first one was basically, I split the process that I understand in three. You do action, the action generates NFT, the NFT are sold, and the reward distributed. And on each of these steps, I had a question. The first is who choose the action, the individual or whoever else. On the second step, the NFT generation, how do you track who did what? And the third is that when the NFT are sold, where is the market? But now I think you told something that is really interesting, and is that somebody buys an action if they feel that is worthy. So by this statement, my understanding is the people, the market, where is the market for NFT is basically the people that have tokens of the, how do you call it, colony. They are spending colony token to buy actions that are deemed worthy.
Yeah, pretty much. They wouldn't have to be members of colony as well. They could be anyone. Initially, it would be just the funding we have from Catalyst that we'll be using to buy. But the thing is, it's trying to build a system that is completely free, completely open market. So it would be just like a normal NFT marketplace. But instead of buying just art, we will also have art. But instead of buying just art, you are actually supporting something that you want to see in the world. You like clean beaches, you buy an NFT that shows clean beaches. You want you like a project, you like the white paper that they wrote. They put their white paper in an action NFT. You can buy that to support them.
What if nobody buys?
I mean, Patrick, think of it like this. Think of it like this. You know, you go into Instagram and you watch, I mean, so many videos, and you see people doing things, and whether you want to or not, you give likes to people, right? I mean, you watch YouTube videos, you give likes, right? But this is just like that. But instead of watching, I mean, cat videos, or I mean, watching your friends drink a drink on the beach, you know, you see people doing something, whatever that might be. And if you like it, let's say you give a like, for example, but instead of just giving a like, I mean, this could be Jam, correct me if I'm wrong again, but this could be a system where, I mean, you could your credit card could actually be tied up to your likings, and every time you like something, you give support to an NFT. I mean, this is what it allows. So therefore, when you could be, it could be your own community, it could be somebody else's community, you could be just browsing among communities, you could be just, trying to figure out where you belong or making your own thing. Either case, I mean, you will end up liking things. If you're in that platform, if you follow it, there will be things that fit you, or other people will fit what you are doing.
Exactly. Patrick, also I can say that how do you define yourself in the social media? For example, you put your photos to Instagram and you have a GitHub account and other stuff, but they don't represent you. But with Littlefish, your actions will represent you as a social anonymous identification. And when you purchase those NFTs, so they will go to your wallet and they will define your identification. What are you doing? What are you supporting? What is your ideas? And you will bring them to every place that you have in the metaverse or Web3. So this will create a new paradigm, and you will take your abilities, you will take your ideas, you will take your actions, you will take your support with you in your wallet, and you can use it in other places without using your name and your ID. So this is, we call it social anonymous identification. This is why you want to purchase those NFTs, right? I want to support the nature, climate change, and I want to support the people that are hungry right now. I want to support the development of good things, and if I have these, and I have the badges from Littlefish, and when someone look at my wallet, they will see them.
Yeah, think about the process, how you do it today. Let's say you want to support today climate change. So, I mean, where do you go? Either you go to a big organization and you know that most of the money will not go down, or you need to find somehow an organization, right, that you can support. Then how you send the money. I mean, it's complex. How you follow up what they actually did with the money, right? It's very complex. So here it's simplifying all of that. You support actions that you like based on a platform that is trustable. If you have ADA wallet, it's easy to transfer them. Hey, I transfer you 50 ADAs. I mean, it's very easy, simple, and you get an NFT with that shows, hey, you actually supported this, and these projects.
Totally clear. Is now super worthy what you're saying. So basically, instead of receiving 1,000 emails from organizations like the Medicine Sans Frontières or DVF, you basically can choose where to direct your support in terms of economic support to those that are really performing stuff, really executing actions.
And the good thing is with this, you can directly support the specific action that you want. Instead of supporting Greenpeace, you can support the specific action that Greenpeace does. You can support that and that only. Like that is the core idea. It goes directly to the action instead of an organization that we don't know how they're spending their money. So it is a change of paradigm in that manner. There's nothing similar to that today.
Perhaps you can also do reverse searching. So say that you are interested in supporting one type of action, you can find all the how you call it, not organization, but not circle. No. What is above individual?
Community.
Yeah, you can basically find all the communities that they tend to perform that action.
Yeah.
Right. There's going to be a lot of good things we can do. Just matching, categorizing, sorting, putting that out there. And it's going to be really fun actually getting to play with that and displaying all that, because you can pull this in a lot of different ways. You can go with just NGOs. You can have let's think about it. When you go to Twitter, the people you follow are what you see. And you can do the same thing here, but it doesn't have to be the people you follow. It can be just different categories. We can do NGOs, we can do sports teams, we can do projects, we can do whatever. And we can display all of that in a different format for however we like. So it can be put in very different formats, and it can be very fun just even playing around with those.
There is an example I'm using. It's not so much social projects oriented, but it is Facebook version of social media. It's UHive. Have you heard about it? So every action that you do, basically like you do in the Facebook, liking and connecting people and things like that, all of these actions are rewarded. And you don't even know you are supporting something, but you are just browsing things around, just like Bilge mentioned. And your actions, because you spend your time, right? And your actions are rewarded, and it goes somewhere, of course. When you increase your followers, you are rewarded. I can share this. It's so much Facebook kind of thing, but at least it can give an idea regarding this gamification part of it, and it's not so difficult to use it.
Thank you, Özgür. I'll be checking this out.
You're
Looks
welcome.
very interesting.
Yeah, it's
Thank you,
social
Özgür.
metaverse.
Do they have a working product, or is it just like a?
Yeah, it's mobile based. It is working. It's just like Facebook actually. And they have a, tokenization system, and every action like likes, and if you have more connections, if your space is visited by more people and things like that, everything is a kind of rewarded. I'm not doing anything and they just send me rewards. I don't know, some people maybe.
That sounds like an economic nightmare waiting to happen.
Yeah, it is. I don't know, maybe many people are trying out.
If they're giving
Metaverse
up,
has been so popular nowadays.
the problem with most of these projects is, well, once they start out giving tokens freely, what they're doing is they're inflating their supply, and at some point that supply is just booming out into a massive bubble, and every real asset that actually denominated in that token goes to zero. Like, that is what is happening with many metaverse games, many tokenized systems, and that is one thing that's not going to happen with this one, because I'll make sure.
Yeah, at some point maybe they believe that they will balance with the number of the people joining their platform, and they will stabilize somewhere, but we don't know. And as you mentioned, many people, many projects just are forgotten and not really functioning well. But it seems some of them will win the game, just like Facebook did. And there are many alternatives now. Yeah, I just gave this example to maybe we can learn something from it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm definitely going to check this out, because I do like seeing what other people are doing in this space. If there are any other examples of like social platforms, I'd love to see.
I wonder what it takes to get the tokens and the sweepstakes. I mean, like, how much effort do you have to spend to get it actually? I'm going to, like, does it have something to do with how many people you add? Trying to add new people and rewarding them for it is actually not a bad idea to grow in the beginning anyways.
Usually what they do is they inflate their supply at the beginning, and it doesn't really affect because there isn't much supply anyway. So they reward early on, but then it turns into a Ponzi. And as long as they don't have any newcomers coming in, it just crashes. If they have that working out, like if they figured out some way to not have that happen, it's a great way to actually grow early on, just to reward people. But then you kind of have a system where the early comers have a large cap of the supply, and that is a centralized system that a little portion of the community is dominating. So it is very difficult to set up properly from what I've seen. Anyone have questions? Anyone want to contribute to this? Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to contribute in any way that I can. I probably can't do stuff directly, but like in any sort of organizational help or collaboration way, might be able to. Just spread too thin on all the projects that I've got.
I think I'd love to have a chat with you in order to get an idea of how you're organizing your blockchain learning center, because there's a lot of things in parallel that we're doing. I think we can have a conversation there that can help both of us, because this is very difficult to actually organize, and I'm having difficulty wrapping my head around it.
Yeah, admin and organization of things is always crazy hard. I'm struggling too, so I feel you.
Is your center is it online or do you have a headquarter or something?
So it's going to be both. We already have a site. I'll just link it in the chat. There you go. And we're opening up a coffee shop as well, where there will be a physical blockchain learning center.
Are you a friend of Tevo?
Tivo Sachs? Is that his name?
Because
I don't know him very well.
He mentioned a friend that he's going to open a coffee shop. Maybe I thought it's you.
No, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
But I would love for him to open a bean chain. I'd love to actually talk to him about that and see if maybe he wants to kind of be one of our first satellite locations. Like share any experience we have, help him write his business plan and help him get that all set up.
Okay, looks great.
If you guys have any other questions I'd love to answer or not, we can conclude the meeting here.
Yeah. We will go for development.
Yeah.
The night does not end for this team.
Yeah.
I think it was a great presentation. Very clear. Very interesting.
I agree. Thanks for a really clear presentation. And I need some time to go over it and think about things myself, but thanks for the materials, and I'll definitely be taking a closer look.
Thank you, Nori.
Thank you.
All right. See you, everyone.
Yeah,
See you.
thanks for the meeting.
Later, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for all your work. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.